Alright guys, welcome to the first episode of Triple G's. I'm Craig. Today I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about how to actually take care of some things in your lawn. In episode 1 we're going to be covering pea spots. So here I actually have a pea spot in my yard that my dog created. I actually have a few. We're going to talk about a couple of different ways to actually go about solving those issues. So here's how we're going to handle option number 1. Right here I have some compost and sand mix. Just to kind of show you a close up. Just mixed it myself, a little play sand and compost. About a 50-50 blend. The reason why we're using a blend, or why I like to use a blend there, is mainly because if I'm using pure sand on a project, it's usually to actually level the lawn. I'm not trying to actually build this spot up here. This spot of the lawn is actually pretty level. It's not that I got the perfect lawn. I do have some hills and valleys in here, and we'll talk about those on a little bit later of an episode. But right here is not the problem. So even if you just want to use a straight soil or straight compost, that's okay as well. I like to use the sand a little bit just because also it brings a little bit extra heat to it, and as you know, Bermuda really likes heat. I'm sitting here in zone 7 right outside of Charlotte, so it's perfect for this situation. We generally have a lot of clay, and it's harder for it to just grow directly into clay on its own. You can kind of loosen it up by plugging it, but I usually just like to rake it, which I'm going to show you how to do, and then put a little bit of the compost and sand on it. So here I just have a little cheap garden rake. I got this from Lowe's. You can pick this up at any local hardware store. All I'm going to do is try and pull out some of this dead grass as well as rake some up. If you look in here, you can kind of see there's already some green sprouts coming up, so we want to see how much of that is already coming up there, and then just encourage it to grow a little bit more. I've been saving this spot here for you all so I can show you how I'm actually going to handle this. But we'll rake some of this up, try and get as much of that dead stuff up so that the good Bermuda has space to grow in. As you can see, Bermuda's tough. It ain't coming up so easy. Also, we're just waking up some of the soil. Some of this stuff is actually already growing back in here really well. So next, all I'm going to do is sprinkle a little bit of this on here. There is some Bermuda already in there growing, so I want to kind of keep that green showing. But we're just going to give it a little something to grow into. So that's about it. It's not really hard, pretty simple. What I'll do from time to time, throw a little water on it and shower it down just to get it wet, and you're good to go. Your grass will start to cover that up and grow back itself. A couple other options you have to do this in addition, and I'll show you, is we could also add some stolons to this. Stolons they're just the grass that grows above ground for you. As a matter of fact, I'll show you a couple. I have some sitting out. So these are stolons. It's what grows above ground and what makes your Bermuda get really nice and thick. So what we can do is also take a couple of these out of the ground and plant them into the ground over there to help it grow a little bit faster. So it's really simple. You can really plug yourself a hole or two, stick that Bermuda down in there. Maybe put a little bit more of your sand and compost on top of it. Just get it to stick down. Add a little moisture to it. Now the thing about this is once you do this, you're going to want to keep some water on it for the next few days. Make sure it stays soaked so that little piece of stolon that you pulled up doesn't die out. But this will actually help it spread a little bit faster. But in general, you got a lot of grass around here. It should spread into itself anyways. So on to option number 2. I'm going to show you how to really just plug this spot here with what's called a Pro Plugger. These are a really awesome tool to have laying around, especially if you have something like Bermuda that can kind of spread. All you do is go to an area of your yard that you don't think people are really looking at, pull a plug from there, and then come place it here. This is on the edge right where I have my grills, where I do all my cooking, as you can see. And I want this area of the yard to look really nice. So, really simple. All you're gonna do here is take this, step on it. It's gonna take a plug right out of the ground. Normally it pulls this up for you. As you can see, it pulls up a whole plug. For me to be mostly clay, I got some good soil action going on in there right now. We'll talk a little bit about how I did that later. Product by the Andersons called Humachar that I've been working on all summer actually works really well. I've been all clay almost all the time that I've been here for the past 3 years, and this has really helped out just in the, I don't know, since February I've been using it. So this stuff works really well. Well, let's get back to what we were talking about. In here I've already taken a couple plugs from some other spots in my yard that I don't really mind. All you do, you can turn this thing upside down, get your plug, and put it back down in the ground. This plug here I don't really like that much. Didn't look like I got a good one. Let's see if this other one's any better. Oh yeah, this plug's a lot better. It has some grass still growing in it. Might have to go snatch a better plug than either one of these. I don't really like either of these. But all you're doing once you get that, you're literally just dropping that plug in there, mushing it down, putting some water on it, and watching that thing grow. It's a lot easier to do it this way. You have a green spot in your yard, you need. So now up close you can really kind of see that. Here's the plug here. Here's still some of the pea spot area around that. And what you can kind of do with that still is just grab your sand and compost. It'll fill in around the edges as well. And just put a little bit of that in there too. And that'll help that out. But it's a lot quicker fix. If you got a bigger spot like the first one, you could do, you know, 2, 3 actual plugs. You want them kind of spaced out so the roots have space to grow, but with Bermuda, they'll figure it out. It'll continue to grow. I'm going to clean up a couple more of these spots, and I'll show you the end results. Thank you for watching. If you wouldn't mind, please click subscribe down at the bottom, as well as like, give a thumbs up, maybe add some comments. This is once again my first YouTube video. I'd like to get your feedback. Tell me what you'd like to see going on out here. Also, I got some great videos coming. Everything from Humachar to I'm going to be doing some chainsaw work on my trees out in the front yard, trying to trim it up and make it look right. I like to do a little overkill, even though I live in a small residential neighborhood. That'll be some fun for you guys. Once again, click subscribe on the bottom. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Leave a comment. Thanks.